Three good games on Friday night. Headlines our four-way tie here on your SFL Super Saturday in Week 10 as we head to the Snake Pit. It's where Saturday night starts as the in-form Indianapolis Ramblers host a Queen City Corsairs side in desperate need of their first win in Season 23. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Ramblers searching to get back to 500. Alongside me this evening to unpack what should be an enthralling affair here at the Snake Pit is none other than Brett Solberg. Brett, what are the keys to the matchup tonight and how's it going?
Well, the main thing here is that I'm doing okay. Everything's good on my side, everything's good on your side. We're going to have ourselves a fantastic game. But for the key for these teams here, basically for Queen City, they need to score. Their issue all season has been offensive woes throughout their entirety of the season so far. Just 10 points scored so far, whereas for Indianapolis, it's got to be consistency under center. Johnny Pickler has struggled the last couple of games, as well as their dynamic receiver in Ryan Roosevelt. We will get to that later once Indy's on the field, but this should be an exciting matchup here.
You're not wrong. The best losing effort that Queen City have had so far this season came 2 weeks ago against Atlanta, where they put up 13 points. So offense is the key for the Corsairs afternoon, and that is how it will start here as the return is taken straight up into the coverage there and about the 30-yard line. Quarterback Trellis Blanton leads out this offense with backs Jet Zero and Ace Ketchum. The receivers Joseph Bodette, Bo Ward, and the tight ends James Matthew Jr. and Abad Ruiz II. So plenty of talent across this roster. Depth is the main weakness of it, but certainly some weapons that can make plays on this offense. The handoff on the far inside is met straight away there by Tally McScarborough, and it was dropped after a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, and Queen City's woes has to turn around in the form of Jet Zero. Get this for a stat. Jacob, highest number of yards in a single game for Jet Zero this season, just 51 yards.
A tough season for him, and that's Zero again on the carry. So again, noting there was a second running back added to this roster mid-season. Ace Ketchum came out of retirement to join as a secondary running back. So got two options here on roster. A quick 3rd down and 8 here is going to force Trellis Blanton to have to throw on a 3rd and long. He will drop back, throws across that, is caught for a first down. So a positive start for the Corsairs. Finds his number 1 target in James Matthew Jr. for a 20-yard gain.
Yeah, and Indy has to realize that Blanton loves to throw to 2 targets. They have similar receptions up at this point. James Matthew Jr. is the leading receiver in terms of receptions, but the leading receiver in yards has been the surging Jacob Bouvette as of recently.
I'll open up a bunch formation. I have 2 of those receivers here downside, one of which is motion now to the top. The toss play on the outside. Zero's got work to do to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he can't do it. Well read there by Ken Gaston Jr.
And this Indy defense definitely knows ways to get behind the line to get to the running back. Kenneth Gaston Jr., Adam Wiseman, Tilly Max Scarborough, those have been the main run stoppers for Indy this season.
To mention Adam Wiseman in the inside of this defense, their defensive anchor. Blanton now drops back, takes a few steps trying to rush it himself, and the line did a really good job to allow him to skate forward and pick up some forward progress. 7 yards, in fact, on the carry for Trellis Blanton.
Yeah, and we've seen this a lot this season from Trellis Blanton as of recently. He's got a couple carries to his name now, and getting this 4-yard gain definitely helps things on 3rd down.
Now Blanton on a 3rd down, throws that outside. It is not good enough there to get into the hands of the running back, and that stunts what was a promising Queen City drive right in its tracks.
And an unorthodox play call from Queen City decided to go with the swing pass. Jet Zero's only had 10 receptions through these first 7 games. He hasn't had a lot of touches on that ground. It's netted some success, but that just didn't do it this time.
Punt sails away, will be almost fumbled. Wow, what a weird little effort there from the returner for Indianapolis. Nearly a disaster there as it bounced out of the hands of Rob Hunt and was nearly recovered whilst in midair. And Indianapolis, meanwhile, will start their drive after a small scare as Johnny Pickler will trot this one out. That was certainly a strange way for Indianapolis to have first possession of the football. And the dime set, Pickler will hand it off to the back there in Charlie Baker, who's had an impressive season in his first season here in Indianapolis. Picks up 4 yards.
Yeah, and Baker definitely needs to be that star running back in the game to really make a difference between these two sides. Both of them kind of struggling in terms of offense, so they need to figure it out in the run game first off and foremost.
And off to the fullback there, and Joel Harleman is stuffed straight away. So again, this Queen City defense troubled in their lack of depth, but still plenty of talent across the board to try and make plays here. And they forced Indianapolis into a quick third down and medium.
Key in on Ryan Roosevelt on the slot here.
Pickler drops back, it heads in that direction, and it is caught by Reggio Gennaro for a first down. Great pass from Pickler.
And it's a good misdirection from Roosevelt, as stated before. He went with an out route, which kind of made the Queen City defenders decide who to defend on, and they chose right. It was just a perfectly thrown ball by Johnny Pickler to get it to Reggio Gennaro for the first down.
So back-to-back third down completions on either side of the ball through air. And Indianapolis' drive continues now up to halfway. Single back off to the right. Now handoff straight up the middle to Baker is met right at the line of scrimmage. They have keyed in on him very early. This Queen City defense consists of defensive ends Chad Stinson and Emmanuel Petrilla. Casper Haddock and Luke Swift, the linebackers, the safeties, and corners Justin Reside, Ted Haynes, Alex Marshall, and GB Wallace. Pickler drop back, wide open is Rob Hunt for a first down.
Yeah, it's just wide open look, finding the two levels between the safeties and the linebackers to get to Rob Hunt. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication between, looked like one of the linebackers and the safety to see who was going to cover Hunt, and it led to a wide open pass.
Rob Hunt, one of 4 receivers on this roster. Pickler's now found 2 of them on this drive. Fires it across. That's caught. Found a third one. That's Roosevelt. And he's inside the 5.
Yeah, and Roosevelt is one of the rare receivers in this league that can be dangerous on any field position that you can find him in. He could be at the opposing 20-yard line. He could be at their own 20-yard line. He is a threat no matter what, and having a linebacker on him in zone coverage is not the way to go. Grabs the catch, gets past the one defender to get those extra yards, and just like that, Indy is in goal range.
Swift tried to make a play at the ball there, but Roosevelt took it away from him and then was able to turn upfield to get a few extra yards. And now Pickler in goal to go. Baker is getting the handoff here and will be stopped basically a yard shy. They'll be very hard to stop from here.
It's good open space for Baker on that delayed handoff and got plenty of room to kind of run and got the great yardage to set up a second and goal.
It's been the bread and butter of Mike O'Neill this season, those draw plays up the middle. Now a handoff to the far side. It's Tino Sosa who will take it in for the opening Indianapolis touchdown.
Felt like very quick work from this Indy offense to go down the field, but they really chose their plays really well throughout this drive, starting with a little bit of run, getting Johnny Pickler a little bit more composed as he started to throw the football out, gets his targets, and then they finish it off with goal line runs, gets the touchdown, early strike from this Indy offense.
Very efficient 8-play and right on the nose, a 3-minute drive here to open up proceedings for Indianapolis. And you really can't open up a game any better than what they've just done.
No, you had Johnny Pickler throw for 50 yards on the first drive. All the running backs really got involved well with Sosa, with Baker, with Harleman. That's what you want to see out of that Indy offense if you are a Ramblers fan.
Pickler went 3 for 3 on that drive and found 3 different receivers across the roster. So Queen City now forced to respond very early. The return is a positive one, though. Gets it up past the 30 to the 35 by Joseph Bodette. And this Indianapolis defense consists of McDre, Robert Cherry, and Saron Yates on the line. Adam Wiseman, Ken Gaston Jr., Thomas Matthews, and Telemac Scarborough, the linebackers. The secondary, Jermaine Manifield, Rick Evans, Anthony Wire, Melodious Manning, and the superstar Jack Russell anchoring the defense at the back at the strong safety spot. So plenty of veteran experience across this defense. 5 players with at least 10 seasons of experience. Drop back, that's thrown. Wyo nearly had a pick there, speak of which, and it falls harmlessly incomplete.
And there's a bevy of Indy defenders in this first half that are already in Defensive Player of the Year discussions, along with that Melodious Manning, who is joint leader in the league in interceptions with 5, but also key in on the strong safety in Jack Russell. So big thing for Charles Blanton, don't throw it too deep.
Such a good secondary this team possesses. Blanton's got good blocking again outside. That's by James Matthew Jr., so he's found him twice now. That picks up a first down for Queen City.
And Matthew is one of those tight ends that is just deceptively agile as a tight end. Had Jermaine Minifield spun in a cycle trying to cover him, and just enough space. He's got the size as well to basically, post up like a basketball player to grab the catch.
Going to be a lot of pressure on him today. He's by far the most experienced player on this entire roster. Throw to the backfield. That's caught by Ketchum. And first touch for him. Picks up a gain of 5 and continues this Queen City drive going in the right direction.
Yeah, another swing pass, but this time they connected it and they got some decent yardage out of it just because there was open space on that left side of the field.
So Blanton's starting to settle into this game a little bit here. Efficient offense from Queen City. That carry by Jet Zero, and he picks up a couple. He was a bit unlucky there. Shut down immediately by Adam Wiseman.
And I think the biggest key here is that it gets Jet Zero back in the positive. He was at -1 after 3 carries. Now his 4th carry got him to a brand spanking new total of 2 yards.
Projecting to try the same thing here on 3rd down and short. Can they get it? Is another question, but Blanton will throw out of this Joker's package. He'll throw it downfield, looking for Bodette. Couldn't get it over the top. Rick Evans forces it away, and that will end the Queen City drive right just past halfway.
Ended up being a double coverage between Rick Evans and Anthony Wyo. Again, Johnny on the spot to help out Evans, and that's a tough 2-on-1 battle for any receiver.
So another positive drive for Queen City. Doesn't quite get the distance, and the punt is going to be left by Bob Wood, and it will bounce just into the end zone. Unlucky moment here in the opening stages for Queen City, and Indianapolis will bring their offense back on the field. Johnny Pickler, the quarterback, Tino Sosa, the touchdown scorer, Charlie Baker, the other running back, fullbacks Rob Noel and Joel Harleman. Those 4 receivers, Rob Hunt, Xavier Knight, Ryan Roosevelt, and Reggio De Niro. The line, Jamarcus Candy, Chad Rowland, Jimmy Hayes, Hadrian Marlowe, Johnny Van Man, and Anthony Anderson. Handoff up the middle. Picks up 4 yards. Good blocking again. Presents an opportunity for Charlie Baker to pick up 4 yards.
Now that Indianapolis has that first score involved, we should see a lot of that run game coming in, because we are talking about a Queen City defense that is 24th in the league in rushing defense.
Certainly struggled again with that lack of depth as Joel Harleman picks up a couple, so he will be short and presents a challenge here for Indianapolis on 3rd down. Not a given here at 3rd and 3, and an opportunity for Queen City to get a quick stop here after their opening drive surrendered a score. And a split back spread formation here for Pickler. Hand off at the middle. Baker got it. 4 yards of the 3 required. That keeps Indianapolis' offense on the field.
And Indy doesn't want to get too comfortable with 3rd down scenarios, because they are 20th in the league in 3rd down conversion percentage at just under 45.5%. They don't want to get too favorable on those 3rd downs. Get those conversions early and get those often.
Single back off to the left. Pick level motion Roosevelt up top. Currently unmarked in the zone. Now a handoff to the short side. Great tackle there in open field to prevent that from going anywhere. And again, This Queen City defense has to rely on some backups to make plays in order for them to stop the force of this Indianapolis offense, and that's certainly a sign of what needs to occur. Toss play on the outside, again well read by Swift, and he had support as well, as it's another only 2-yard pickup there, finished off by Justin Reside, and this is a longer third down attempt here upcoming.
Yeah, there's an early test for Queen City's defense as well. If they want to get Indy to force to punt this football away, this might be your chance before the first quarter ends.
Pickler, drop back, protection was good again, throws across, that's caught.
Oh.
De Niro beat a man and takes it up past the 40. What a play from Reggio De Niro.
Yeah, and with the absence of Ryan Roosevelt over the last 3 games, we have started to see a surge in productivity from Reggio De Niro, and there's the biggest example that you can see out of it, is just the ability to just shrug his shoulders, do a little shimmy move to get a defender out of his way to get extra yards. That's how he's getting extra touches from Johnny Pickler.
For the first 5 seasons of his career as a member of the Louisiana Revolution, now flourishing as an outside receiver for the first time in his career. That pickup, though, only gets 1. GB Wallace read that one perfectly, and that should take us to the end of the first quarter. So an intriguing affair here. Indianapolis have got a challenge on their hands. Queen City down 7-0, but playing with some spirit today. Back here at the Snake Pit, Indianapolis with the 7-point advantage and possession, up over halfway now on this drive. Pickler has been very efficient, yet to throw any completion in the game thus far. Michael Knight is motioned across. Now a handoff up the middle. That's going to be a good pickup for Tino Sosa there. In fact, it was Baker on that carry as the lead back. That picks up about 8 yards and makes third down a lot more, a lot shorter.
Yeah, and 1 yard is probably the best scenario you could have in a third down scenario. So, wide open playbook for Indy on this opportunity.
Project a run, handoff up the middle for Tino Sosa. That is more than what was required. Gets them up to the 30, and this Indianapolis drive looks exactly like the first.
Yeah, and again, great balance of run and pass so far. Keeping Queen City's defense guessing so far through this drive again. And just like you said, they're moving at a pace just like their first drive that led to the score.
Bring out this single back triple offense once more. And again, Roosevelt is motioned across. It's a toss play to the outside. Baker had blocking on that side, but it's only a 2-yard pickup there, well read. Chasing him across the field was Luke Swift.
And moving that receiver, motioning it over to that right side does have its benefits, but it's also a less open route for Baker to kind of run into, and he ran into his own receiver and didn't get as much gain as he wanted.
Sosa's going to try the same thing, and he only gets a yard pickup there. Dropped to the ground by Ted Haynes, and now it's going to be another third down and long for Indianapolis. They've converted on all 4 of their third downs, as highlighted by the graphic. And Pickler will bring out 4 receivers here with a single back off to the side. Rolls out. Blocking was good. Throws end zone. That's incomplete. Tipped away. He's looking for Reggio De Niro, who's had a brilliant start, but Casper Haddock got back there from the inside linebacker spot to make sure it wasn't 6 points.
No, it's good coverage from Haddock as well. He's facing a speedier receiver, just trying to, keep your body in front of the football, and that's exactly what he does. Ball falls actually off his shoulder, and they're going to force a kicking scenario for Mr. Topher Kiefer.
Really important hole for Queen City as Kiefer hangs that one in the breeze, and it's through the uprights from 43 out to give Indianapolis a 10-point advantage.
Solid kick from Kiefer. Didn't really have to focus too much on alignment. He just trusted on the wind to kind of carry it a little bit, and a little bit it does, just off the left post.
Just snuck it in, and again highlighting Queen City's offense has shown flashes here, but just hasn't quite gotten it into field position where they can really pose a threat. This will be returned by Bodette from inside the end zone. And gets it up to the 30. That's been the theme of the afternoon for this special teams unit. And that brings back the Queen City offense. And again, Charles Blanton has done a good job of finding James Matthew Jr., but still hasn't found either of his two main receivers. Jet Zero has had another relatively inefficient afternoon thus far.
What seems to be the story this season is that they try to get that run game going. It doesn't work, and it's led to Trellis Blanton really sling the rock. That's why he is first in the league coming into this week in pass attempts.
He's had plenty of work in his return season. Trellis Blanton. Toss play outside. Again, Zero that time was able to get the leg drive and got 3 yards out of it after being met at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, heading into this matchup, 103 carries, 226 yards, and 1 touchdown for Jet Zero on the ground. You can have average 2.2 yards per carry.
Hand off middle, catch him, met straight away. Great tackle there up the middle. And it's another 3-yard pickup though, meaning that it's now 3rd down and 4. Opportunity for Queens
defense. Looking for Bodette or Matthew Jr. on this play.
Blanton with time, throws it to Matthew Jr., who was chased down from behind, but he got the first down. Much to the celebration there on the sideline from Brendan Walters.
That one's questionable. I think that's a right idea from head coach Chad Rowan to throw the flag. We'll see the replay here.
We'll take a retroactive look at this play. At your console to play the SFL on the go at GoRuckTroid.com. And he definitely looked like he was met short here. Great tackle, irrespective from Melodious Manning to tackle him from behind in the open field.
Check the replay there. The ball short. His feet don't count. He's got to remember where the ball is placed as he's going down. So this should be overturned.
It's unfortunate for Queen City. It looked like in the space that Matthew Jr. was for sure going to turn that upfield and get it to where it needed to be. But again, the pursuit from Melodious Manning was enough to ensure that wasn't a first down pickup. And now it will be another punt, the 3rd of the afternoon for Queen City. Sends this spiral bomb away, and it is going to be flagged somewhere there in the tussle. Face mask against the punting unit, so that's going to move Indianapolis forward. There's nothing going right at the moment for Queen City.
No, and this has been kind of the story of the season so far. Like you said earlier on, Queen City, they're having flashes of brilliance on the offensive side, but those flashes are so quickly quashed out, and right now it just isn't looking good on that offensive side. Their defense is trying to keep things alive.
And off of the middle, Baker, they're going to get on top of him. Picks up 4 yards there on that carry, and keeps this Indianapolis offense moving at really an impressive efficiency rate at the moment. They've barely been caught in bad field position.
It's been very comfortable going for Pickler. So pass attempts to 16 ball carries so far for Indy's offense.
Absolutely. Handoff up the middle. Harleman lost the football. Picked up by Queen City. That's the play they needed. Casper Haddock with a huge play for his defense.
Yeah, good recovery. And like I said, Queen City's defense has done great work to keep things alive. And Haddock just barrels over Baker in the middle and just right man, right places the other defender to hold on to that football. And I'd say quite easily this is Queen City's best field position of the game so far.
There's no question, and it's off the back of a defensive turnover. Could that be the change of pace that's needed here for the Corsairs? As Blanton will toss it again to the outside and zero. He's met straight away. They telegraphed that one, and he's met behind the line for a loss of 1.
Good recovery. I will credit Chad Stinson on the fumble recovery. Good job on him to stay within the line, stay within Baker's range to get that football. But that first play, Andy's defense guessed right on where the toss was.
Motion to the outside. Ace Ketchum's now a receiver. So Blanton's got an empty backfield. The blocking up front is great, though. Look at the space for Trellis Blanton. Throws it outside. That's a first down. Great patience from the quarterback. Fires it outside. That's first down yardage for Queen City. And Abad Ruiz, the second, has his first catch of the game.
Yeah, it's all about just patience from Blanton. He saw that pocket collapse for him. He just decided to escape to the left where there is wide open field. It's basically just an open park for Blanton to just settle in, throw to his target, who is Abad Ruiz, who got open. Nice first down.
Indianapolis starting to feel the pinch at the moment. This Queen City offensive line is playing well above their means. Great blocking up front again. Matthew Jr. inside the 5. He's planted at the 1. Beautiful throw from Trellis Blanton. And now Queen City are at goal to go.
Yeah, and it's been all through just Trellis Blanton finding his right targets. This time, seeing just a straight go route from Matthew Jr. There was Gaston in the area, but he was definitely more upright, so he wasn't ready to cover Matthew Jr., which resulted in that easy throw and easy catch. And now, about 1.5 yards away to the end zone, Queen City is to getting points.
Oh, well. Queen City now have to rush this in. Forward progress has been hard to come by for their backs so far today. Blanton's going to throw, and it's caught. Cheeky little play there, and Abad Ruiz, the second, has his second catch of the game and 6 points on top of it.
Man, I didn't know Queen City had a cheeky play in their sleeve like that. I was expecting maybe a swing pass that was over to Jet Zero, but no. Quick backdrop, maybe just one step, and it was a quick curl for Abad Ruiz to stay wide open, and there's your reward to getting that first down. You get yourself a touchdown, my friend.
Some smart coaching there on the sideline from this Queen City unit, and now we've got a football game here in the Snake Pit. Queen City creating a turnover against this Indianapolis offense and converting it into points. And now it's kicked back to a 3-point ball game. Kickoff returned by Hunt from the front of the end zone. Gets it up past the 25. There was a flag on the play. He's met straight away. He'll be pushed backward, you would imagine.
Yeah, that's a clip.
Called it straight away there, Brett, and Indianapolis will be forced back inside to their own 15. The SFL convention is headed to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th to the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor, and revel in the league's first convention on the East Coast. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. Now Indianapolis forced backwards, so things starting to go right for Queen City in this second quarter. But Pickler has been excellent today. A handoff for Charlie Baker. Got the leg drive going. It probably picked up a 4-yard extra that he wasn't meant to, and gets this one closer to first down yardage.
Yeah, I don't see the reason why Indy should stop going with that run game despite the fumble from Charlie Baker earlier. Just trusting your run game, because you know that Queen City has that bend but don't break, but most of the time they do break defense.
And off this time they got in front of it, and it's only a 1-yard pickup there. Casper Haddock has been playing out of his skin so far today. He's had a touchdown saving pass deflection, a number of tackles up the middle, and also had that fumble force on the last drive, and has now forced Indianapolis into a 3rd down and short. Motion the fullback Harleman off to the side. But Pickler will drop back. Pressure was there. It's
Oh, they're going to call
incomplete. There was
PI.
a flag. That's very unlucky. Didn't look like there was much in that, but maybe the replay will tell us more of the story.
And we'll see. It's Reggio De Niro, the intended target, and it looked like Justin Reside was just trying to get position over him. That one is a 50-50 call, but unfortunately it goes against Queen City. That's an automatic first down for Indy, and they're going to continue this drive.
Looked like he just impeded De Niro's path to the ball there. Now with a fresh set of downs, toss play on the outside. Baker met straight away. Reside gets one back.
I don't think the lineman, I think that was Chad Rowland, the lineman, just wasn't ready for that Queen City defender to come so quickly. And that's resulted in a minimal gain, what felt like on that first down run.
Only 2 yards there for Baker. It's been an inefficient afternoon, averaging only just over 3 yards per carry. Toss play outside. Baker trying it again. Picks up more forward progress that time, but it's going to be another third down attempt here. Another opportunity for Queen City to get their defense off the field.
Yeah, plenty of opportunity for Baker to really try to break out. He hasn't had any big gains yet. As long as so far has only been 8 yards. So Queen City's showing up that run defense pretty decently in this first half.
Pickler on the drop back. He's swarmed and will go down in the backfield. Another play for Queen City. And this defense has really stepped up in the second quarter.
Big Tony Bryant coming in. He's been a thorn on the backside of the run offense for Indy. And this time he gets to Pickler in relatively easy fashion. Not a lot of time for Pickler to really get settled in the pocket on that play. And now Indy's going to punt this football away.
Now Philip Defield punts this one away, gets really
Oh
good
my
coverage.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Going back the other way. One of the linemen has picked it up inside the 10 and is going to be fielded inside the 5. Almost a very, very rare 6-pointer there, but it's stopped just shy. One of the Queen City backups has gone down on the play, but Indianapolis are going to have the football inside the 5.
As the reserve center, Jason Anderson, coming in to get the fumble recovery and just marches down the field. And that's one of those big man SFL plays you love to see as just a fair weather viewer and not alone just an Indy fan. And just like that, you thought Indy was having troubles with a punt and a turnover in the last 2 drives. Well, they're going to start at the 4-yard line.
Handoff up the middle. Can't get forward progress there. He's Baker. And really, that could be the story of Queen City's season right there, that play. So unfortunate, but now inside the 2-minute warning, Indianapolis, I mean, how good would it have been to see that center carry it into the end zone? That would have been a highlight reel play too. Look back on at the end of the season. But irrespective, all of Indianapolis' starting linemen are on the field here trying to get one of these backs a touchdown. It will be Sosa on the carry. Great read. Dumps him in the backfield there. Justin Reside trying to make up for that PI call earlier in the quarter. And with the clock running inside 2 minutes, Indianapolis are going to be forced now to a third down.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because I talked earlier about how Queen City has struggled on the run game, but they have done pretty well despite the fact that Indy has really, ran the ball a lot. Case in point, what a tackle behind the line of scrimmage to force a 4th down.
Nothing doing there for Charlie Baker. Luke Swift all over that one. And really a goal line stop there for Queen City. Forces a field goal attempt from just 24 yards out here. And I wonder if, I don't think it was close enough for Luke Swift to get that goal line stop incentive, but certainly a tip of the hat is offered. And Queen City able to hold it within a single score.
Yeah, and that's one of the things when you have an elite linebacker like Luke Swift, first linebacker this season to get to 25 tackles for loss. That's number 25 for him on that big stop. He is a menace when it comes to those goal line situations. So it's a great job to get that stop and force Indy to only get 3 on that drive.
So again, that note that depth has been their biggest issue, Queen City, this season, but they've certainly got the stars that can make the play when they need it, and they've certainly been making some plays in this half of football, and they're keeping this Indianapolis unit very honest at the moment. And with a minute left, keeping in mind that Indianapolis will have this opening second half kickoff, Queen City might want to try and do something here with the football, given the way that Blanton has been passing it into the backfield now. Zero got past 1. Another one, 0. Now he runs it out of bounds. He only took 6 seconds off the clock, but he's gained 15 yards.
Yeah, and that play is all thanks to a key block from Bodette. Look at the block just as Jet Zero was cutting to the outside to get those extra yards. If that block wasn't there, we're calling this maybe a 3-yard pickup, but instead, you're going to get 15 yards. You're going to move the chains. You get out of bounds to stop the clock as well.
What a play there. It just gets them on the move here, so they're now in gun. They're certainly not shying away here, this Queen City unit. A motion a receiver across here, and Bob Wood, who's yet to be targeted. Blanton drops back, good block on the edge, caught. Yeah. Matthew Jr. up over halfway.
And that's really the guy you want to get to in this first half. If you want to move those chains, get down the field and get some points. He has been a star in this pass offense in the first half. 5 receptions, 73 yards. That's better than most performances that we've seen out of wide receivers this week already.
Blanton's done an outstanding job, and he's only found the 2 tight ends there, including the touchdown pass to Abad Ruiz on the last drive. Throws it outside. That's Ruiz again. Picks up 6 or 7. That will force the second time out from the Corsairs.
Yeah, and Charles Blanton has played some, relatively risky football with a couple of these throws, but he has stayed uber accurate. You see those stats there, but the biggest one that we don't see here, a QBR of this first half of 127.7.
One of the best games Charles Blanton's ever played in his short career. Blanton throws one. That's to Matthew Jr., but it's forced free there. Rick Evans showing the experience, and it does, however, stop the clock here with 42 left. They've got to convert this third down if they want to keep this one moving downfield.
And as much as we talk about the Indy secondary being merchants of the turnover, they do have some strength in them to really stop some tight ends as well, as example there from Rapid Ricky Evans.
Wood motioned again, so it's Bodette and Matthew Jr. here are the main targets. Throws across the middle. That's caught for a first down and skating inside the 30. There to pick up the first down. First time that Blanton has found a receiver. And that picks up a first down and keeps this drive on the move.
I'm going to say his name, and he appears, Jacob. That's Bob Wood's first target and first catch out of that one. And it moves the chains for Queen City.
Gets them inside the 30 now. So Blanton again playing brilliantly in this second quarter. Ruiz motioned outside again after the 18-yard pickup for Bob Wood. Blanton will drop back, throws. Oh, man, wow. That was almost intercepted by Jermaine Menafield, and probably should have been as it bounced in and out of the hands.
Yeah, it feels like the left-out party of the merchants of the turnover secondary. Menafield only has 1 pick to his name so far, but he almost had number 2. It was just a very risky throw from Blanton to get it, try to get to Bob Wood, maybe arc it instead of try to laser it down.
Now another empty back set. Matthew Jr. motioned across. They're trying to overload the top side here because Indianapolis don't have a ton of coverage on that left-hand side of the field. Wide open, we couldn't find him. That's a very rare sight where Blanton unable to connect with James Matthew Jr. at the fall backwards even to get to the football. And now with a third down and 10 upcoming.
I'll have to check you on that because that's the second time that Jet Zero has missed a pass attempt. That was 0.
Great call there. I saw 4, but not the 0. And now a drop back, zips
Oh,
it.
good throw.
Bard Ruiz the second. He has had a breakout game so far today. The second tight end on the depth chart. And now Blanton again on the move. He'll spike it with 20 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I don't mind this call. I would have probably stayed in this formation for at least one more play, but instead they spike it. They probably just want to have more receivers down the field, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see an empty backfield here on 2nd and 10.
5 of them out here on the field here for Queen City. So they've been bringing out all the stops here on this drive to get the ball in the hands of the receivers. Blanton drops back, blocking on the other side. His excellent throws. End zone, in and out of hands. Almost had it. There, tipped away by Melodious Manning.
Fantastic look from Blanton. That is not his fault at all. You had Matthew open on basically a mismatch just in terms of height and size between him and Jack Russell, and it was almost caught. It's just Melodious Manning in the right time to get that hit on him. Now it's 3rd down. Queen City, are you going to focus on the end zone again, or are you just, they're going to get the field goal here with less than 15 to go?
It's certainly an interesting call here. Had to watch for the fake, but they don't opt against it. He got it inside the right-hand upright, and that's going to keep Queen City within 3 points.
And I don't mind that call. When you think about less than 15 seconds to go, you just want to get the points. You want to secure something out of this drive, get that positive momentum. It's still a very close game. They could, get that lead, get themselves the lead, turning back around in that second half. At least they got a field goal. At least they're within 3 points.
At least a half-time. It is the closest that Queen City have been to potentially taking out a game here in
face
season
mask.
23. That's a very unnecessary face mask there on the return.
Yeah, personal foul. That's going to be 15 yards up. It might not matter as much, but it's at the 45. This gives Pickler a chance maybe to throw this down the field. That's 55 yards to the end zone now.
Nothing that Johnny Pickler can't do. Bit of dirt rubbed in there on the return. And again, with some of the talent that this Indianapolis offense possesses, but Pickler's just going to trot this one out here, pending some break-off run. No need to go too aggressive as they've got the lead, and they'll take it into halftime, knowing that they've got the second half kickoff to come. But Queen City are right in this game. Do not touch the dial. This is the closest they've been to a win in their 7 games so far in season 23. Indianapolis leads by just 3 points at halftime. Brett Solberg, unpack what we just saw.
Well, basically the tale, you can just sum it down to that second quarter. We saw the first quarter, which has been kind of the typical prediction of what you would think this game would go between a 3-4 team and an 0-7 team, with that close to 500 team, really taking momentum. But it's been key moments for Queen City in the second quarter really get things going. Get this, 109 of their 114 total yards has been through the air. Trellis Blanton took over in that second quarter, really carry this offense forward, because that run game is just not working right now. Just 14 rushing yards amongst everyone else. He is looking for his main guys in Matthew Jr. and Bodette. He's got Bob Wood in there as well. That is what made this a game, but Indy has stayed tough. With that turnover has really helped things out, but they need to finish if they want to break away in this second half.
Before we get back to the action, let's take a quick halftime break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
You can break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Brakes GPT offers you a shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price from the community collectors on our Brakes GPT Facebook page. Let's make sure this kickoff isn't returned outside, up to the 35. Great return there to start the half. But you can hit a humongous headliner on the website at breaksgpt.com as the 5th receiver on the Indianapolis depth chart there. Picks up about 37 on the return.
Yeah, it was a good return as well. He looked to break to the outside, and that's what kind of gave him the extra little bit to get through. And it took all the way up to the punter, or to the kickoff man, to get to the returner. So great work, good starting field position for Indianapolis, but they've got to really start turning things around on the offense. You'll see there their last 3 drives, 2 yards combined.
Wow, what a turnaround from this Queen City defense here in this game. Baker outside, met straight away. That was the theme of the second quarter. Picks up only 2 yards. Shut down straight away. Again, this Queen City secondary in particular has put in the work to make sure this run game is mitigated. But it was Luke Swift who really stole the show, along with Casper Haddock in that linebacking core. They had the huge second quarter that just kept this Indianapolis offense at bay. Pickler's going to throw here on a second down. Throws. Tip. Almost had it. There, in and out of hands. Very rare sight that GB Wallace was unable to reel that one in. What a near miss for Johnny Pickler.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's been the story for Wallace. We've seen this a couple times this season. Still left without a pick to his name this season. That had to be his closest one of the season so far.
You just sense it's very tense here at the Snake Pit. This Indianapolis unit not used to being in this position, and they didn't feel like they would be against a team that's yet to have a win in this season so far. Pickler now on a 3rd down and long. Drops back, protection, excellent throws. Roosevelt reeled it in despite the hit. Great catch from Ryan Roosevelt. It's just his 2nd of the game, and that gets Indianapolis up over halfway.
Yeah, and it's inevitability sometimes with the Indy offense that you're going to get that passing game going. Just 4 of 5 in the first half from Pickler. He slings 2 balls early on in this first drive for Indy in the second half, and he gets a completion to his main love interest. I'm kidding. It's just a main interest in terms of the receiving game in Ryan Roosevelt.
Roosevelt now 37 off 2. He leads the team in reception yards. And now Pickler with a fresh set of downs. Throws to the flats. Caught by Baker. Sosa, in fact, gets it outside. That's a straight first down for Tino Sosa. No one came anywhere near him before he ran that one out of bounds.
And I think this is just Queen City trying to adjust and seeing that Pickler was starting to toss the ball a little bit more. And Sosa had a wide open space to the outside. Not even touched before he got out of bounds.
Sosa has been the more efficient of the 2 backs with his touches. It's just the first catch for either back in this Indianapolis offense. And now Pickler with a fresh set of downs here has no backs on the field. He'll drop back here. Blocking is good. Roosevelt, that was tough to corral. Couldn't do so. And it brings up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you can start to see a change of pace with this Indy drive. That's 4 straight passes now for Johnny Pickler, and it's resulted in 2 of 4. But they've been important ones so far. You got that deep catch from Roosevelt. You had that nice swing catch from Sosa. They just need to find that consistency now.
Single back triple. They've actually lived in this formation here so far. They're saying deep drop.
Oh, watch out.
Pickler. He was pursued by Johnny Pickler. Sacked in the backfield there by Emmanuel Petrilla. And that is an excellent play there up front from this Queen City defense.
Man, it felt like Pickler was going to have enough time to keep going further down, but sometimes that is the downside of a 7-step drop. You're going to be so far behind your line of scrimmage that once that pursuit comes in, you have to race for it, and there's just not enough time for him, and now it's going to be 3rd and a country mile.
Now back to closer to halfway than they were after the Ryan Roosevelt reception. And Pickler now has a ways to go to get a first down. Rolls out, heaves it downfield. Wide open at the 10-yard line. Beautiful read from Johnny Pickler. A collapse at the back from Queen City. And Rob Hunt has the biggest completion of the game so far.
Yeah, and you look at just how Queen City was formed. That was a little bit of a weak zone from the Queen City defense and left a pocket wide open on that left-hand side corner. Finds Rob Hunt, and more importantly, pretty much in goal line range, just 12 yards to go.
They needed 19, they got 24. Now Baker on a fresh set of downs picks up 4 yards, and we take a quick breather here as Indianapolis can slow it down. And we say thank you to Justin Reside and Daniel Carmichael on stats tonight. Justin Reside playing secondary here on this drive and also running the numbers at the back end for us. Now a handoff at the middle. Sosa looking for it. Got it! Tino Sosa with his second of the game.
Yeah, and that's a big boy run from Tino Sosa. Coming into this game, was left touchdownless all season, but now he's got 2 to his name, and he's just fighting off defenders, sheds off Casper Haddock, and then bruises his way past the second lineman to get to him, to push himself to the end zone. And now Indy is looking to get back to that 10-point lead they had earlier in that first quarter.
Good afternoon for Tino Sosa. Now with his second touchdown on the board, second running back on the depth chart, he's grabbed the 2 scores for this Indianapolis offense, and now the lead is kicked back out to 10.
And Queen City's mentality has to be to not waver. They did a really good second quarter. Now this is their first opportunity in the second half. They need to respond in kind.
Another one from Top Kiefer is returned from inside the field of play here by Bodette, but can't get it past the 30. But still just inside of 70 yards to go here on the forthcoming drive, and an opportunity again. We mentioned how good Charles Blanton was in that first half, but really, again, as you highlighted, the Queen City run game just hasn't been quite there today. So that's where they need to make the corrections.
And I still expect him to go run on this first down to at least try to give Jet Zero a chance. He's only had 6 carries so far, but they do have trips to the right. They have passed out of this quite a bit.
Blanton drops back again. He's got a back wide open. Picks up a few yards there. And again, they've struggled with those screens today. Sometimes Zero's been unable to reel them in. And he has had a couple of incompletions as well when he's been subbed in as a receiver. Now on a split twins formation. They're going to hand this one up the middle. Can't get forward progress there with Zero. Great read by Ken Gaston Jr. and keeps them at a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and really when you think about it, the linebackers have been left relatively quiet in comparisons to, their bigger games. Gaston at 4 tackles. He does have a TFL to his name, but Thomas Matthews doesn't have a tackle to his name, and Scarborough only has 3 tackles.
That's why, because it's been mostly heaved down the field by Trellis Blanton, and it's picked up a first down here for James Matthew Jr., who could have 200 yards by the end of today.
Yeah, and he's looked fresh throughout this game too, and it feels like it doesn't matter who's covering him. We've seen him covered on Rick Evans on this play. We've seen Jermaine Menefield. We've seen Anthony Wyo on him. We've also seen Jack Russell on him, and it's been a tough matchup no matter what.
He's now hit the century mark here in this game. Blanton had pressure around him. Caught for a first down. Now double coverage around him there. Joseph Bodette, that's his first catch of the game.
Yeah, and he's been looked at a couple times, and it's been a little bit unlucky, but he finally gets that first catch. And that's a tough one because he's outstretching his arms, making sure that he's in front of Menefield to grab that catch, because Jermaine was in the right spot. It's just, hands getting there first, and Bodette gets his first catch.
And it keeps Queen City heading in the right direction here. They're now up over halfway after that 15-yard pickup. Blanton, toss play outside Zero. Again, just has no room. He has been suffocated today and has been spotted behind the line a vast number of times. Here, on his 7 carries, he's now had just 5 yards. That's really been the blind spot for this Queen City offense, and it seems now that that's going to be the theme. But Ketchum's in the backfield here. In a split spread formation, he'll get the carry on the outside, and again the run coverage is outstanding from Indianapolis. Telemac Scarborough picks up another tackle there, and will now force Queen City into a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, Jacob, let's put your head coaching glasses on at this point. You've seen this run game only get themselves about 15 yards on 12 carries through 2.5 quarters. Is it time to stop the run game?
Well, they will have to here on this play as Blanton drops back. Pressure got there. That's picked. Gaston's got one. It went straight into his mitts. And Indianapolis now have got a real foothold on this game.
Yeah, and that one is just we talked about how Blanton was just throwing a little bit risky, but he had to be throwing risky, but that one was a little bit too risky. You see the sea of red all around the receiver. I think that was Beaudet. That was the intended target, and it just didn't work out. Gaston was right in front. It's one of the ill-advised throws, but he had to throw it.
Tough pill to swallow for the Corsairs. Now the fresh set of downs for Indianapolis. Baker gets it to the outside. Almost got the first down there. That's an 8-yard pickup there, and we'll go back to SFL HQ to check in on the other matchup on the first Saturday block.
Thank you, Jacob. A little bit surprising here. Deion James in the end zone from 1 yard away. Servaz Synergy's thrown back-to-back picks. Lexington on top of DC 17-3 in the middle of the third. Back to you.
Second run there for Tino Sosa, who's met at the line of scrimmage. So Queen City now with an opportunity to get a stop here on third down and short. The surprise even that this is the closer of the two games. Not sure many in the community would have picked that at this stage here. And now a toss play outside. Baker got to get through traffic as Sosa got for a second. Wallace couldn't get him. Now Sosa's down the sideline. Haynes had to push him out of bounds. Great run from Tino Sosa.
Now you have to think internally from Indianapolis. Is this going to be the week that Tino Sosa really, makes a mark on this offense, and then next week becomes the RB1? We know the capability of Charlie Baker in this contest, but Sosa has looked like the much better running back throughout this. The run game has started to finally break out in this second half.
Disparity there in the rushing yards is very evident. Sosa has been immense today. Pickler drops back. Good blocking up front. Wide open. De Niro. That was sexy. Picks up 20-odd yards there on the one-handed grab. And that's your Retroid Nice Hands catch of the game. Brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23.
That's what you call a swagger catch from Reggio De Niro. Knowing he was wide open, knowing he had the target to him, he just said, you know what? I don't need two hands to catch this baby. Outstretched arm, Ocho Cinco style to get the first down.
Best part about it was so unnecessary, but he still did it.
Completely.
It was just, there was no need for it. But Reggio De Niro posting a highlight reel play, and that puts Indianapolis deep inside Queen City territory. Rob Hunt wide open now inside the 5. Boy, these wide receivers for Indianapolis had an absolute field day, and now they're back to what we saw in that opening drive where Pickler was just zipping it down the field on every play. Hunt now has 70 yards, or 69 rather. Nice. And inside now goal-to-go territory for Indianapolis.
Man, and now you just need to complete the Infinity Stones and get Xavier Knight a reception here, and you've got the complete package.
Without doubt, now a handoff. Baker met straight away. Good tackle from Ted Haynes. Stops that one there from heading any further.
Again, Queen City, this is a big test for them. If they can force 3 points on this goal line scenario, they've done this twice already in the first half. If they can do it one more time, they have this game within reach.
Saron Hurts. Throw the ball, Johnny. He has been. He's done nothing but that. And Joel Harleman, that's a grown man carry. Lowers the shoulder into the end zone. And Indianapolis now has 3 rushing touchdowns on the board.
Yeah, and as much as Johnny Pickler has done really good in this game to, throw that football and get his guys involved, the run game has really stepped things up, and they have been the catalysts to this Indy offense. They know that Queen City has their woes against the rushing game. They have done efficiently in these so far 3 quarters, and it's resulted in 27 points on the board now for Indianapolis.
Queen City really were hanging with this one, but it's just starting to collapse here right at the death. But it's to really no fault of Indianapolis, they have done an outstanding job, and the last 2 drives have been very akin to their first starting drive, where it was just Pickler airing it out to his receivers, then it ended in a short yardage rushing touchdown to a secondary player, really, to the main back in Charlie Baker. So a return now from inside the 5 by Bodette, gets up to the 30. He's done that pretty much every time he's returned the football. Queen City, again, trying to get this offense back to where it was in that second quarter.
Yeah, and right now, it might be just throwing any type of run game out the window. And even though the interception from Trellis Blanton might have, pushed things back, I would still try to toss that sucker, because the pass game has been really working for Queen City, especially in that second quarter. You want to carry that momentum as much as you can.
I think you have to, even from a clock perspective, only a minute left in the third alone. But they'll start with a toss play out to Jet Zero, and once again he is met behind the line of scrimmage. Jermaine Manifield there on that tackle. This is just the most isolated Jet Zero has looked. He has just been completely lost trying to get any kind of progress against this Indianapolis rush defense. And now on a second down and 11, they'll bring Ketchum out. Short throw from Blanton hits James Matthew Jr. for a pickup of 4. And again, he just racks up the catches here. Upwards of 7 now for 87 odd yards unofficially.
7, get this, 11 catches from their tight ends. The receivers only have 2.
Blanton now on a third down, going to try and convert. He's down. Bell caught by Bodette. Nice throw from Charles Blanton to get it over the top of the defense. And Joseph Bodette's got his second catch of the game.
Yeah, and Bodette is definitely that second half player that we see from Queen City a lot. Gets a lot of his catches, in those late game scenarios, and they need him the most, as this third quarter is going to tick down probably to its final seconds. This is going to be the score at after the third here.
Head to 3/4 time here, as Indianapolis have got a real stranglehold on this game. 27 points to 10.
Of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Back here in the third, Queen City football with a 17-point deficit, trying to make something of this. Blanton drops back, or pressure, got it outside, and there was no chance that Jet Zero was going to reel that one, or at least get it to forward progress there. Great pressure up front from Indianapolis's defense.
Yeah, first bit of pressure that we've seen in a little while from the defensive line. Mac Dre almost getting the blindside sack, but Blanton had the wherewithal to at least get the ball out.
Blanton now with a second down and 10 after the incompletion. Drops back here, blocking up front was good. Zips it down to Matthew Jr. up above 2 defenders. He has done absolutely everything today. He's now got upwards of 120 odd yards, and Blanton's good afternoon continues.
Man, he had Gaston Jr. right in front of him and Jack Russell right behind. That is a Indy sandwich in the making, but he still manages to get that ball in his hands, secure it, and move that ball down for Queen City.
Right, so Queen City have led the game here in passing yards despite the scoreline. Here Blanton throws it backfield. Zero trying to get some forward progress, does get it out of bounds after a 3-yard pickup.
And as much as they've led in the pass game, Indianapolis has been basically taking care of the rush game by almost literally tenfold through this game. So as much as Queen City's done well in the pass game, it hasn't been a complete performance.
7-7 now, and the Joker's set. Ketchum moved out as a receiver. It'll be hand off to the fullback there, and he's going to try and push forward and get some forward progress. Probably got a yard there. In fact, it was Jet Zero who was subbed in as the fullback there.
Yeah, and one of the biggest examples, I can't believe biggest is the toughest word that I've said apparently, but one of the biggest examples of Queen City's rush game not working, your leading rusher is your quarterback.
There you go, that one carry from Blanton leads the day. Wide open, Joseph Bodette. They've got one more on the board, and with an extra point to come, this is going to be within 2 scores.
Hey, Jacob, how many points is that for me in fantasy right now? Yeah, I'll leave that aside there.
Cashing in. That was a cheeky little pickup there. You spotted that one with Joseph Bodetny. The last 3 weeks where you've had him on your roster, he has been killing it, and now has a touchdown on the board.
Yeah, but the big thing here is that Queen City's made it a game. We thought that, you know, it was dead to rights after, you know, Indy had that surge in the third quarter. Now Queen City's got this back. They just need to get a stop.
And with plenty of time left on the clock here, it gives Queen City an opportunity just to try and steer this back in their own direction. I just realized as well, people aren't going to know what we were talking about there.
Exactly. Yeah.
We shouldn't have dragged that one out as far as we did. But his kickoff will be returned from inside the 5 here by Rob Hunt. And straight away, great coverage there to plant him just past the 30.
Yeah, and right now, Indy just needs to continue with the momentum that they have right now. The run game has really started exploding. I wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that we might see a lot of Charlie Baker and Tino Sosa on this drive.
And start off with here, throwing wide in this triple formation they've stuck with today. Pickler throws it outside, one-handed grab by Rob Hunt, but forced out of bounds. In fact, it was Ryan Roosevelt forced out of bounds after a pickup of 4.
Yeah, and Roosevelt, you know, trying to get his catches back on track here. I haven't talked about it in depth, but the last 3 games for Ryan Roosevelt have been 99, 26, and 55 yards. He's looking to pick things back up after 3 of his 4 games prior over 100 yards.
Pickler's got to be careful throwing the ball here against his secondary. The handoff this time to Baker. Luke Swift, another big tackle there. Met Baker before he could get to the first down marker. And now that opportunity for a stop here. 3rd down and short. You imagine that Sosa will check in here, who again has been extremely efficient on the outside.
He's in the back, so good call.
Joker's formation. He's got Harleman in front of him, who has a touchdown on his lone rush. Toss play outside. Sosa got it. Had it. Tried to get there, but he's going to be taken for a ride going in the wrong direction. And Tino Sosa, his impressive afternoon continues.
Yeah, and perfect going once again to go on a 3rd down toss play to Sosa and trust on his legs. And right now, this 3rd down efficiency has been stellar from Indianapolis. Now 9 of 12 after this conversion. Great work from the Indy offense.
Baker back in here on this formation. Handoff up the middle. Met straight away. Luke Swift makes another play there. And just a second to highlight the fact you mentioned earlier that Tino Sosa could be making a claim here to be the running back 1 on this roster. Worth noting, he's the only natural halfback on this roster. Charlie Baker was a wide receiver conversion. We've seen a lot of that across the SFL. So he's not a natural tailback, but Sosa was drafted as one, so an opportunity for him to potentially extend his upside. That's a carry for Harleman, who was a former tight end turned fullback, so plenty of conversions across this roster. That picks up 5 odd yards, and it's again another opportunity for Queen City to get a stop here. They're just up over halfway, so not inside of top kicker range just yet. Pickler will throw. Stinson tried to get around the edge, doesn't, and Ryan Roosevelt has been left wide open on the outside for a 1st down completion.
And that was Queen City's defense just thinking that Roosevelt was going to go deep. You could see Justin Reside playing a very deep cover, thinking that Roosevelt was maybe going to cut inside or maybe go on a streak route. Instead, he goes on a corner right to the sidelines, and that's just perfect. That's a perfect ball thrown from Johnny Pickler once again.
It means now that they're at minimum inside of top keeper range. Now Sosa outside picks up 3 yards. So he's had more carries on this drive than Charlie Baker has. And it's them. It just only problem for Queen City now is it starts to wind down this game clock.
And right now you're starting to see that wear and tear on the Queen City defense. Now they've carried this ball 38 times tonight.
They have Bonner on the field a lot today. That carry from Baker is met early. GB Wallace gets that tackle, so it's another opportunity for a stop here. And again, it's not worth the gamble here for Johnny Pickler to try and throw this. You don't want to turn the ball over here. At minimum, this is going to be a top key for field goal attempt. But they got 4 wide on the field. Make sure you don't turn it over here. Johnny Pickler rolls out. He will rush. He's always got one of these in him.
Oh, no!
Football.
Oh!
That's the thing we didn't want him to do. And Queen City have picked up the football. What a play by Alex Marshall.
Now, this one could be potentially challengeable as well from Chad Rowland, just because you don't know where he, how far down he was placed. But right now, Queen City with another fumble recovery, this time jarring it out of the hands of Johnny Pickler, and now have themselves 85 yards to get to the end zone and get this game within 3.
Gee, the commentator's curse has struck Indianapolis. They've turned the football over, the exact thing they didn't need to do on that 3rd down play. Queen City have got to get this downfield quickly, though. They've only got 5 minutes to try and make up 2 scores. But it's so far out inside the question right now. Blanton throws outside. That's caught by Jet Zero. Gets it up for a 6-yard pickup. And because we're inside 5 minutes to 4th, the clock will stop.
And the big thing, I think Jet Zero's swing passes have been, the main benefactor for him. 24 yards on the 3 receptions so far. I think they need to continue with the swing pass if they're going to hand this ball off to Jet.
He's done well with them when presented with that opportunity. And Blanton now, his impressive afternoon continues. Handoff up the middle, catch him. Met early there, so a good tackle there in the open field by Thomas Matthews first time. He's been called. In fact, it was Wiseman on that tackle. And now with a 3rd down and short, Queen City have to convert this.
Every 3rd down matters for them at this point. They've been doing all right. 6 of 11 so far in this game on 3rd down.
Toss play outside Zero. Great chase down and tackle. He will be planted behind the line of scrimmage. They took a gamble there on the outside handoff that hasn't worked for them today. And he'll be dumped behind the line of scrimmage.
And that's just classic Telemax Scarborough football. We've seen him do that all the time. Big 3rd downs all the time, especially back in the London days. He used to do that.
So now it's 4-down territory for Queen City. Blanton's going to try and throw this. It's caught! Matthew Jr. They called it too early. Manning forced it 3 at the last second.
Yeah, and just look at the replay. You could see Matthew Jr. 1 foot down, couldn't secure the ball, didn't get both his feet, so it's going to be ruled incomplete. And now Indianapolis basically not moving too much further down after the Johnny Pickler fumble, and basically right where they left off, just maybe a minute later on the clock.
That hurts Queen City massively. Now they can really put a spur on here.
Oh, my goodness.
Queen City this time can't come up with the football. Rob Hunt does. As a savior for this Indianapolis offense, they cannot hang on to the football here in the crunch time.
Regardless of how this game ends, you cannot say that Queen City has fought with as much heart as they've had through over the past 7 games. This has been their toughest battle. They have fought like an end to end here, and you can see 3 fumbles against this Indy offense. It's been a ridiculously amazing effort from this Queen City defense.
Ted Haynes nearly had that. Hunt had 2 grabs at it and got it on the 2nd attempt, but Haynes nearly fell on it. Another near miss for Indianapolis. Handoff to Baker. That met again with really good contact there. Alex Marshall has injected himself into this game late.
It's again another big 3rd down, because if they can get Indy to force 3 again, it's still 2 possessions. And the time is dwindling, but anything's possible here in the SFL.
Again, you're absolutely right. Queen City have made very tough work of this. Now on a 3rd and 5. Again, cannot turn the ball over here in this situation. Pickle up, 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, handoff. That's much more like it. Even though it's not a 1st down, they can continue to wind this clock down right to the 2-minute warning, because the game clock is behind the down clock, and they can really put the final nail in the coffin here, you would imagine.
Yeah, and now you have to think from this position. This is a gimme for Topher Kiefer. So if we're looking at a scenario that this field goal is made, Queen City now has 120 seconds to score 2 touchdowns.
Kiefer has made 3 today. Swings this one left to right. It was a bit awkward, but he snuck it in. And now it's a 13-point advantage for the Indianapolis Ramblers.
I think the collective hearts of Indy fans kind of stopped for a second as he saw that ball go left. And then it just curved right. That was even closer than his first one, right on the left goal post.
It was awfully close there. So 2:05 left. I'll get this return off before the 2-minute warning here. This won't be returned though, so we'll have one more play. And worth noting, irrespective of what happens in the next 2 minutes, Queen City have increased their best score of the season. Their previous was 13 points. They've obviously scored 17 in this one. So positives at least to take out of this game for Queen City as they look to build on their roster for next season. Charles Blanton has been a bright spot today. He will throw again. Throws across the Bob Ruiz. Speaking of bright spots, he has had a breakout game today. Another first down pickup for the tight end.
Yeah, and this has been a long-term pickup because Ruiz came in a few seasons ago, if I'm not mistaken, from the Legion, and now he's in that secure tight end 2 spot. Big catch for him.
So it'll be the 2-minute warning here. Prior to this game, Bob Ruiz had 8 catches for 63 yards. He's nearly doubled his season receiving total and could well do so here. He's got 53 on the afternoon thus far. He's motioned here from right to left. Blanton drops back again, looking in that direction. Gaston nearly had another one. Falls harmlessly incomplete. We'll go back to SFL HQ to check in on Lexington at DC.
Thank you, Jacob. Excitement all of a sudden in Lexington. 4th and goal. Watch the effort here from Lauren Percoco. Got it. Ooh. DC gets the touchdown, then recovers the onside kick. They have the ball back. 17-10. Back to you.
Tight finish over there in Lexington as Queen City looking to try and make something of this late in the stages here at the Snake Pit. They have definitely tested this Ramblers unit today. Blanton drops back, good blocking up front again. Caught. That's caught for a first down pickup.
Just need to continue throwing first down passes. Doesn't matter what the scenario is, they cannot throw it short. So great job to get that first catch. They crossed enemy territory. They need to trust in Blanton's arm.
Blanton's basically telegraphed for 300 yards on the afternoon today. So 285 at the moment. Blocking up front again was good. Throws it outside. James Matthew Jr. runs it out of bounds after a 15-yard pickup.
Starting to move down the field, and they're using efficient timing as well. Great job from Matthew to go out of bounds, too. He has been their man in this game. 141 yards now for the big man as he continues to climb up, and he has struggled over the last couple of games as well. So this is, again, another breakout game for him.
I think he had upwards of 180-yard a couple of weeks ago, and he's looking to post something very similar to that tonight. 35 away from a major score here. They've got 2 timeouts left in their pocket. Blanton drops back. That's incomplete. Almost trickling around the back there was Jack Russell. Tried to get to that one, but it just fell at his ankles and he couldn't hold on to it.
And again, you look at that first hit from Anthony Wayo, another interception candidate there. And just like you said, Jack Russell almost got it on the downswing as that ball was deflected. So a risky pass once again from Blanton, but they need to throw those risky passes.
Second down now, same spot. Minute 42 left on the clock as Blanton trots out the empty back set again, takes the pressure, throws it quickly. Matthew Jr. couldn't come up with it again, sweeping through. They're looking for an interception, and lo and behold, we've got another game update from DC at Lexington.
Shabazz Synergy goes down the field after recovering an onside kick. Jacob goes 4 for 4, hits Lauren Percoco. The game is tied with 3 minutes to go. We'll see you over there when you're done. Back to you.
Unbelievable late surge from the Dragons as Queen City looking to do something similar here. Caught by Matthew Jr. with clock running. They've got a 4th and 4 upcoming. They've now only got one timeout left on the board here, but a quick score here. Could they do the same? Could they score and then recover the onside kick? Would be incredible to have the same scenario in both blocks. Perhaps that's something to spur on the Queen City supporters here. Empty back set. Got to convert this stuff if they want to stay in the game.
They're moving
Rui's
both tight
motion.
ends to the right spot. Focus on the inside of that trio now.
Great call. Short throw. Incomplete. Couldn't find Bodette in one-on-one coverage. And Manifield, again, with an important stop there, as Bob Wood was the intended target, couldn't come up with it. And that could be the end of this Corsairs unit.
This might have not been the right guy to throw the ball to, as you had both Ruiz and Matthew Jr. open on their respective routes, but he goes to Bob Wood instead on the out route, and he misses his target. Now Indy just needs a first down, and they've got themselves the game, but they're going to go victory formation since Queen City only has one timeout.
Imagine here they'll be able to run this one right down. Here they've got 90 seconds left to bleed. But again, positives to take here from this week's effort. Queen City have increased their highest score on the season. And it's also a candidate for their closest losing margin as well. So they're starting to creep closer to that first win. But meanwhile, Indianapolis go back to 500. They're in the playoff hunt. Very, very important win for the Ramblers today.
And now you have to think, as an Indy fan, you're watching this Lexington game right now and focusing on if Lexington can get a loss, because that means Indianapolis would move to second in the Central Division right now after getting to 500. So this is a big game that we have on the block right now.
Still just off the pace of their arch rival, Minnesota Legend. But this is a very important result here at home. They had to get this one. Meanwhile, they will go next week to travel. They host again, rather, the Houston Headhunters. They then have 2 straight division opponents before the Week 14 bye in Chicago on the road, and they're back here to face Lexington. Queen City's next chance at a win will be back at home to host the Mexico City Aztecs. They then have an away trip to the Bayou against the Louisiana Revolution before they have a bye week, and then 2 straight divisional opponents to finish the season. So a tough road home for this Queen City unit to try and get a win on the board before the season's out. This is fair court inside the 30, trying to, again, steer clear of an 0-12 record, which they have had only a few seasons ago. But Week 10 will continue tomorrow, headlined by a crucial matchup in the East Division between the 4-3 Carolina Skyhawks and the 4-4 Atlanta Swarm at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's Denver, Arizona, Motor City, Canton, and Louisiana, Pittsburgh, right here on SFL YouTube. Last play of the game here is a throw to the outside. Port Jet Zero has been tasked with some tough ones on the outside of the receiver. Manifield all over that one. And with 6 seconds left, the Corsairs will have one more crack at this.
Yeah, and big opportunity looking at that Lexington game right now. Lexington now inside the 5-yard line. So that's a big moment for the Miners to possibly score here. But 6 seconds left to go. This is for pride for Queen City.
Drops back, throws, and heaves it over the back. That's incomplete. That pass beat everyone. And with 2 seconds left, they'll have one more crack at it.
And again, it's just a prideful last 6 seconds. Now down to 2. You just get anything that you can on this play. Look for anything positive moving forward, because you got some stiff competition in the next couple of weeks, like you said, with Mexico City at home and then on the road at Louisiana.
Blanton trying to heave it downfield. Almost incomplete there. Bob Wood had a shot at it, but it's incomplete. And otherwise, it's a positive result for Queen City in the sense that they played better than they have done in recent weeks, but Indianapolis get the win that they needed to steer them back to 500 as they nervously await the result from the other game here on the other side of this block. Brett Solberg, unpack what we just saw from this game.
Well, we talked about that second quarter in the first half report, but Indianapolis responded spectacularly in the third quarter. They got the 2 touchdowns. They had 128 yards of total offense. Johnny Pickler really was composed throughout this game. He did not throw an interception as opposed to the 5 that he's thrown over the last 2 games. And maybe that's because of the efficiency and work from Charlie Baker and more specifically Tino Sosa to really break things open for Indianapolis. Queen City, fighting from behind throughout the entire game, but fought valiantly. Probably one of their best defensive performances of the season, despite 346 total yards allowed. It's a big effort for Queen City, but they still fall short in this one. And Indy, big momentum moving forward, get themselves right in the middle of the playoff hunt.
Lexington takes a late lead over DHC. We say thank you to Brett Solberg and Justin Brizite and Danny Carmichael with Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ for a great game here at the Snake Pit. Don't go anywhere. Baltimore will travel to Bossier City with Ethan Muslin and Wade Phillips on the call for that one at 9 o'clock Eastern. And then I'll be back with you at 9:15 with Mickey Malillo to unpack Los Angeles at Mexico City in the Dags Colston Bowl. We say thank you for tuning into this one, and we'll see you in about an hour's time for more SFL football right here on SFL YouTube.
Quickly, 40 seconds left in the Lexington game. Get over there. Bidoo!